So we're here in Shepparton at the MOVE Museum. MOVE stands for...
Museum of Vehicle Evolution.
Correct. Now inside there is quite a lot to see, quite a few museums in one, so we'll go on in and we'll have a look. As you can see, museum, cars and trucks, costume collection, motorcycles, bicycles, buses, Furphy Museum and gramophones. Check this cool little beast out. A bull with wheels. It's got a licensed cafe brunch function. Old tractor. So yeah, we'll go on in and we'll see what it's all about. As you walk in, it's very breathtaking. There's a vehicle here. It's a GT, and not next weekend, the weekend after, apparently there is over 4,000 people coming with over 300 cars, GTs, that are going to be here. So most of the exhibits that are here are on loan and loaned to the MOVE Museum. I'm going to spin the camera around now and you'll be blown away. '67 XR GT Falcon. And a 68. The old GTHO. Oh. Have a go at how clean they are. Bit more modern, an EB GT, 92 model. So they've come a long way. When you look at back at the originals, up to this one here. On the wall there's a whole heap of gramophones, wirelesses or radials, and record players. So it'd probably bring back some memories for some people out there. Check out the telephones. A lot of you young kids will be going, what on earth are they? And there's others out there that are going, we had them in our house, or my grandparents had them. For you kids that don't know, when you used to have to ring, unlike a mobile where you just go 0408 yada yada yada, you pick the phone up, wait for the dial tone, and you might go 0, 2, meaning you're ringing New South Wales, and it might be 6, 5, 9, 3, 1, 4. Or someone would answer at the other end. The old TVs. And the movie projectors. The old phone box. Moving on to a few of the flasher cars. The old Ferrari, Enzo. Old school, it's like a Tom Selleck one. It's a 1987 328 GTS. Dodge Viper, 2001.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little...
You don't know where to look. That looks like something out of Mad Max over there. Let's go and have a look. Old Harleys. Beautiful old bikes.
Just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options.
So we're here at the Move Museum in Shepparton. I have Marcus with me. G'day, Marcus.
How we doing?
How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you.
And just for the people out there, what's Move actually stand for?
Yeah, MOVE is the Museum of Vehicle Evolution. It's kind of a broad title which allows us to bring a lot of different things in under the roof.
Okay. Now, how long have you been open for?
So in its current form, it opened just after COVID, so we're talking sort of 3.5 to 4 years. Before that, it was much smaller, but had a huge expansion out the back of the big truck section, and it'll grow again in the near future with a bus section as well.
And is this privately owned, or is it a council sort of like?
No, it's completely, in essence, privately owned. It's managed by a board. The land was and the buildings were gifted by a local family, the Andriatises, and they've had a really big influence in seeing it grow. Heavily supported by the local trucking industry as well, who've donated significant amounts of money to make sure we could get it up and running.
I'm not sure if you've actually been out there, but just speaking about the trucking industry,
Yes.
so I know you have a Kenworth section
Yes.
here.
Yep.
My father is actually in the Trucking Hall of Fame out at Alice Springs.
Yes. Yep.
And he's out there, and that's an
Yep.
awesome setup of trucks and
Yep.
stuff out there.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to getting in and having a look at your particular
Yeah, for
area.
sure. Yep.
Now, I noticed you have cars, motorbikes, push bikes, dresses, and all
Yes,
that sort of.
yeah, absolutely.
How did it go about being an everything museum?
Yeah, I think that was it was somewhat planned, but also a little bit of good luck as well. So initially it was a car museum, then we've had contact with the trucking industry and they wanted to become involved, so we've built the extension there. The Garth Wallace motorbike collection, so he was a local collector who passed away some years ago. His family didn't know what to do with his collection, so they put them here. A little bit similar, Charlie Farron with her bikes through a different connection. She had them all in a warehouse in Melbourne. There was a conversation that said, have you got some space? So it's kind of grown and evolved, and it hasn't been super strategic, but it's more been about taking up opportunities. Same as the gramophones behind us. Dick Clayton passed away, and similar. His family had a shed full of gramophones, didn't know what to do with them, and they've ended up here on loan.
I was just having a look through there and sort of brought back memories of my grandparents' houses, like certain telephones and
Yes,
stuff
absolutely.
that they actually
Yep.
had in their house and that.
Yep.
And I actually picked up the old dial telephone.
Yeah,
I remember as a kid you'd have a girlfriend ring or something like that. You'd sneak off in the room and have the cord running under the door so your
Yep.
parents couldn't listen in and
Definitely
that.
so, yep.
But I was just showing the young kids out there how you had to dial around and wait for it to come back around,
Yep.
dial another number and wait for it to come around. Because obviously kids these days grow up with mobiles and internet. They
Completely
don't even
different.
know
Yep.
this stuff exists. They're like, what is that weird looking stuff?
And I think for us, you touched on something that's really important there, was around bringing back memories and telling stories. I had one of those. I remember Granddad drove one of those. I've seen those at Pops. Back when I was little, this is what we used to have in our house. That's the stories that come out of Move. So cars are cars, motorbikes are motorbikes, but they're not much of anything if you don't have a really nice story around them. And that's what that's what we're about. Displaying a lot of different cool and interesting vehicles that have got good history and stories behind them.
Now, are you open 7 days, 6 days? How many days a week?
7 days a week, 10 till 4. We only close 2 days of the year, sort of Christmas Day and Good Friday. I think is about the only two that we're shut. So the rest of the time we're open.
Thought you'd be shut on New Year's Day, nursing a hangover.
Surprisingly, we're actually open. So we have a lot of people come to town visiting family and friends. So yeah, we open for the day and we're normally quite busy.
And the price is really reasonable. Like the price
Absolutely.
is awesome.
Yeah.
$20 for a person.
$20.
You have a concession. You also accept a companion card,
Yep.
and you have children and children under certain ages.
Yeah, correct.
And people can find all this on your website, which is
moveshepparton.com.au.
out of all of these vehicles. I'm not sure if you mentioned, but I just know off the top of my head, all these vehicles are on loan
They
to
are.
the actual
Yep,
museum.
correct. Yep.
So do they constantly change?
Yeah, they turn over regularly. Some are here for long periods, some are here for short periods. We get lucky enough if there's some high-end cars that have been to a show in Melbourne, they might stop here on their way back home. We're lucky to have the support of a couple of really big local custom car builders. Those guys, when they finish some of their work, they'll obviously put them in here before they go to the owner. They come from all over Australia. So
It might be a strange question, but obviously there's collectors out there.
yep.
Do people actually sell cars through here, sort of thing? Like, can a collector that's trying track down a certain particular vehicle, can they contact you guys, go, hey, look, do you know anybody that has one of these? Or
Yeah, we get inquiries over the time. We're happy if we know of someone or if there's a connect that we can make, we definitely do that. But yeah, we certainly, occasionally we have cars that come through that might have a little for sale on the window as well. So it's a very lovely red GT over there that's actually on the market at the moment. So we do help people from time to time, but in general, yeah, we leave the sales out of it to the professionals.
okay, and what got you involved in the car industry or in the museum?
Yeah, it's a little while ago I was asked to come and lend a bit of a hand because a little bit of a change took place. Obviously, it's board run and operated, high levels of volunteers. We had some really big events like the GT Nationals coming up.
Actually, yeah, 2 weekends.
Yeah, 2 weekends time, 340 odd GTs that will come into the building. So yeah, they just need an extra set of hands to help out through some of those spaces as well.
Yeah, but which would be your favourite vehicle in the museum?
Either the blue Coronet over the back that's got a ridiculously powered motor, or the Shelby, the GT Mustang, the red, the classic, the fast. It's a very, very nice vehicle.
I'll tell you what, it's hard to go past the Dodge Challenger over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mustang, obviously it's a bit newer sort of a vehicle, but
different again.
you see the current Hellcats on that.
Yeah, exactly.
The power that they have in them is phenomenal.
Yeah, they start them up from time to time, and the building rattles and shakes.
Okay, and the last question, if there was one thing that somebody should stop and see out of all the things that you got in here, what would that one item or?
It's a bit of an interesting one for me. So I enjoy riding bikes and grew up on mountain bikes and road bikes, and there's some part of Charlie's Farron collection that are 130-year-old push bikes that are made out of wood that you can sort of touch and you go, well, that was made 130 years ago. That was before my time, my grandparents' time. That level of history I think is pretty cool at times. So that's good.
Right, Marcus, thank
Beautiful.
you very much
No
for
worries at all.
your help, mate. I'm going to get around and have a bit of a look, and really looking forward to seeing what else is in here.
Too easy.
Thank you. This is actually a car from out of Mad Max, and its sister car, which is around the back, is there as well. And I just noticed on the bonnet, don't know whether you can see it, but it actually says Emil Minty, Feral Kid, with a boomerang. So that was a little feral kid. Actually must have come in and signed it. And then around on this side, you've got whatever the guy's name is, and then it's got the Knight Rider, Mad Max. So off the original one, when it goes the Knight Rider. So we've just come out the back of the museum, and we found a replica of the Interceptor. I'll let you hear a little bit about this particular car.
So this one is one of the most authentic replicas out there in Australia. All the exhaust pipes and all functional, both sides, so it's not just a gimmick. We've obviously got Dog in there, affectionately known as Dog, and some of the authentic features inside. If you want to put the camera up the back there, see if you can see all the stuff up on the back parcel shelf.
Yeah. Oh, the old jacket.
The old jacket.
I like the old Feral Kid's boomerang.
Feral Kid's boomerang, shotgun shells up on the dash.
And it actually works, it runs.
Oh yeah, runs and drives. This one, it's a pretty cool car, so I'll fire it up shortly for you.
Awesome. Now this colour that's on there, is that actually painted on there, or see all the dirt and the grey, the red?
No, that's all dust.
Dust.
It's like it was in the movie. It's actually club registered.
Yeah.
So
you can drive it on the road?
Yeah, you could drive it on the road, but I'm unsure if how quickly you'd get actually pulled over. So nothing we've attempted, but the owner certainly does run it from place to place.
So there's been a little animal walk on the roof.
Dog prints from the dog.
Oh, that's so cool. We're just going to fire the car up. It's a bit of a cranky thing. There you have it, replica of Max's car, Road Warrior. This car is actually up for sale, and the number plate also is up for sale. The number plate, the gentleman has had over $500,000 just for the number plate, not the car. He's selling them separately, but it's a 1968 XT Falcon GT and it is in mint condition. This here is a Elfin MS8 Streamliner. Have a go at the engine. This place has blown me away. I don't even know where to start looking, but apparently you can spend 2 to 3 hours walking around in here. This here's an old Thunderbird. Look at the interior, black and white, absolutely flawless. The old T-Bird. Oh, looks like the Batmobile from the back with the lights. Some of you will remember this Jam, the IXL. Pretty cool old truck. Look at this old rig up the back, all the chairs in it. A little engine. 1923 Charbank. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to go over and have a look at a couple of cars owned by Shane Jacobson that were in the movie Charlie and Boots. Not sure if you've seen those films, but you get a good laugh out of it. And a bit of a tear. 1964 EH. There's a picture of the Paul Hogan and Shane Jacobson and Charlie and Boots. Kingswood, not the Kingswood. H.J. Holden. This car over here was owned by Imelda Marcos, and in the Philippines, and it come from there out here to Australia. Nice old Buick. Check the Rolls Royce out, the old Silver Cloud. You won't believe what it's parked beside. So you've got the past and the future, the old DeLorean. 3,000 kilometres on this particular vehicle, and it is all original.
Telling my head, but it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead.
Well, there's a movie, Back to the Future, with Michael J. Fox. Now have a go at this over here.
I've been running this
Chevy truck.
trying to catch my breath.
And check the vehicle out on the back of it.
I've been
It's
trying
a 1961 Lincoln.
but I ain't got nothing left. I've been staring at the sea.
Dodge RT.
I've been staring
Coronet.
up all night. Everything I ever worked for vanished in the blink of an eye.
And a 1957 Chevy Bel
Been
Air.
asking every question,
Look under there.
'cause I haven't got a clue. Why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to?
Old Kenworth, like the truck out of BJ and the Bear. Don't know if you remember that from back in the day. Old cab over. Look who I found. Truck and Buddy Roz.
Beep beep.
Is that how they sound?
Hang on, roundabout.
Old Brocky's Holden race car. 2004 Monaro 427. It was a cup car. Look at this engine. It's a Detroit. Push the black button. Here we go. It's just showing you how the motor actually works, the piston going up and down. Right. Another Dodge Viper. Race car. Air conditioned Super Clipper, 1968. Pioneer Tours. Some would say menu log. Looks like the one that Snoop Dogg was in. '64 Cadillac DeVille. Furphy's Foundry, Agriculture Machine and Implement Factory. Go and have a look in here. Also the old metalsmith. All the old Furphy water carts. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good is better and your better is best. John Furphy was born in 1842 and he lived from 1920. John Furphy was born in Mooney Ponds in 1842 to Samuel and Judith Furphy, who emigrated to Australia from Ireland in 1840. Wow, an 1819 hobby horse. Check this scooter out. Must be like an original scooter. It's a rail quad cycle. Couple of cool pictures. There's young Oscar, racing for McLaren. Yeah, apparently there's 200 years of fashion in here. So we've got Georgie here from the Lowell Thompson exhibition in the Move Museum. G'day Georgie, how are you?
In Shepparton, yes. I'm well,
Could
thank
you just tell us a little bit about what we're going to see in here and what it's all about and how it's ended up here?
Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm a volunteer. It's run by volunteers. And this collection is one lady, Lowell Thompson. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's over 10,000 pieces. Lowell and her husband, Brian, who was to do with the cars to start with. He only passed away 2 weeks ago at 90. They used to live here at Murchison. Do you know where Murchison is? Yep. Okay. So they owned this place. They bought it. It was run down, and they did it up perfectly. All the parquetry. And they used to have a shed there with this collection, and they travelled for months of the year. They'd go and live in England or Scotland, and she used to send back containers full of all this sort of thing. And she did a course to be a curator and how to present it, and she liked to have school kids and all adults to learn about how materials were and how from back in the day. And the things here they're just beautiful. And this gown here is 1850s.
Yep.
It's a court outfit, they're all court outfits. And nothing has been repaired or touched or changed. Therefore, we've got to be very careful when we put things together. All those tassels on there are actually embroidered. They're not metal, even though they look metal. And it's rather beautiful. It took 4 of us to gently lift that up on there after we put it together.
What about these two behind us here? What's the story with those two?
Well, they're that style of dress, that era, the 1850 is this one, and 1900 is that one. That's velvet, that dress, with a pattern actually printed on it, which was probably very special for 1900, I would think. So, but there's a lot of very interesting things. You could walk around here once, then again, and you'd see still more things.
$1870.
Then you've got 1912.
1912. Bit of a train.
The shoes down there are 1880.
1880. The shoes.
The two-piece at the back is 1898 wedding dress.
1898.
And then this wedding dress here was worn in 1930 and then again in 1992.
1930 and 1992. So, Ros, what'd you think of that?
That was pretty cool. My favourite car in there was the 1969 Camaro. It was the yellow one. It's out the back. From everything from the fashion through to the cars, the trucks, the bikes. Very well done, very well done.
As Marcus said, it's always changing. So you'll see different things every time. It's never ever going to be the same. Now it's 1:47 and I think we went in there at about 11 o'clock. So you'd spend 2.5, 3 hours. You could spend a lot longer in there if you want to read everything, and if you're an enthusiast in the trucks and the buses, which we weren't as much, but like you could spend a lot of time in there. So we've just passing through a little town called Stanhope, and it's in Victoria. By now, it's not far from Shepparton, between Shepparton and Echuca. But anyway, we've seen a sign saying RSL Memorial, so we thought we'd come for a little drive through the town and we'll just have a bit of a look. But we're in a little park area, and just behind me here is a statue of the Right Honourable Sir John McEwen, GCMG, CH, whatever that means, obviously acronyms. But he was the Prime Minister of Australia from 1967 to 68.
I could never settle down too far away from my hometown with my family.
Okay, so the memorial and the mural that we are looking at here in the park is all based on the sinking of the Montevideo Maru. All right, now the Montevideo Maru is a Japanese ship. Back in Rabaul, Papua New Guinea, when they all attacked over there, the prisoners were rounded up and put on this ship. Now I'll just go through a little bit of a quick timeline just to tell you exactly what happened. Alright, in 1940 Japan became a threat to all America and Australia and everywhere else. So that basically kicked off the war. In September 1940, the battalion was en route march to the new training camp in Bonagilla, which is near Albury, 235 kilometres away, making the journey on foot, which took several days. As they passed through the towns along the Hume Highway, they were led by 25 bandsmen from the Brunswick Salvation Army, who ended up joining. Now, that'll come into play a little bit later on. April 1941, they left Sydney and arrived in New Britain, which is Papua New Guinea. On the 7th of December 1941, the Japanese planes attacked Pearl Harbor and the United States Navy Pacific Fleet was destroyed. War in the Pacific was declared, and USA and Australia, Japan started bombing New Britain. On the 23rd of January 1942, a large Japanese force in excess of 17,000 people landed in Rabaul and overwhelmed Lark Force defenders, which numbered approximately 1,300. 22nd of June 1942, 845 Australians and approximately 208 civilians were captured and placed on the Montevideo Maru and were getting shipped off. 1st of July 1942, the Montevideo Maru was sighted by the submarine USS Sturgeon. The ship was not displaying any special markings to suggest it was carrying POWs. The submarine tracked the ship, and at 2:30 a.m. on the 1st of July 1942 it fired torpedoes which hit the ship, and the Montevideo Maru broke up and sunk within 11 minutes. So the ship went down within 11 minutes. The 1,053 prisoners of war were trapped below deck with no chance of survival. They all died. On October 1945, 3.5 years after the sinking of the Montevideo Maru, the fate of the POWs on board were revealed and the relatives notified of the deaths. So the relatives didn't even know what happened to them. Nothing was mentioned at all until 3 years after the war. They found some documents in Japan, and that was how it revealed what happened with the sinking of the Montevideo. But if you look over at the wall over here, you'll see the Montevideo is the ship, and the submarine underwater is the Sturgeon. Now, the Sturgeon was an American ship.
I am bound. I stick by them till I'm in the ground. Resting on the myth of old, all of the stories.
On January the 23rd, 1942, when the 17,000 Japanese soldiers attacked New Guinea, or New Britain, they landed with strong air and naval support. The Australian force, numbering 1,300 as I said before, had neither naval or air support. So there was an order given, every man for himself. There was 28 soldiers killed there and then on the spot, and approximately 400 managed to escape and return to Australia over many months in perilous conditions. Those who remained, including 300 Australian civilians, were eventually captured and interred as prisoners of war. So what they did was they were attacked up here in Rabaul. They soon made their way back through here, back through Port Moresby and back to Australia on little boats and whatever way they could possibly do it. So yeah, they were just told, yep, hey, every man for himself, off you go. And it would have been pretty bad back in the day. So what we found out was through the people that were here, through Peter Garrett and Kim Beasley, who also had uncles or grandfathers on the actual ship, they decided to get this mural up and running. And a fella come over from near Wangaratta, and Tim, I can't remember his last name.
Botel?
Tim Botel. He's the one that actually painted it all, and that has the story of the sturgeon sinking the Montevideo Maru. So there you have it. It's that time again, Joke Time with Dave. And I did see after the last video there was a comment on there that there was no Joke Time with Dave and that we were being very slack. Well, I tried to tell Roz that and she wouldn't let me do one. So we'll put that one back on her. But hey, I'm back here again. Now, hey Roz.
Yes, Dave.
So, a duck, a deer and a skunk went out for dinner to a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the evening, when they'd finished and it was time to pay, the skunk didn't have a cent, the deer didn't have a buck, so they put it all on the duck's bill. Catches.